This video between Vladimir Putin of Russia and Xi Jinping of China is terrifying. They stated to each other, change that hasn't happened in 100 years is coming, and it can only mean one thing. But first, I want you to see the full clip for yourself.
Это как раз сейчас перемены, которые не было в течение 100 лет. Там, где вместе двигаем эти перемены. Перекиньте, пожалуйста, дорогой друг.
And when they say change that hasn't happened in 100 years is coming, it can only be referring to one thing, and that is replacing the United States as the world's superpower. More specifically, replacing the US dollar as the world's reserve currency, because whoever controls the money controls the world. And China and Russia and other countries have been watching the US for several years, watching the US do whatever they want, whenever they want, because if you have the world reserve currency, you can print whenever you need. Also, for several years, the US dollar is the currency used for world settlements. But Russia and China want to change that.
Я уже говорил, уже 2/3 товарооборота между нашими странами осуществляются в рублях и юанях. Мы за использование китайских юаней в расчетах между Российской Федерацией и странами Азии, Африки, Латинской Америки.
Vladimir Putin publicly stated that Russia is for the use of the Chinese yuan in settlements between Russia and countries of Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Of course, Russia and China want to become the world leaders. Of course, that's not a secret. But right now, they see it as the perfect time because US banks are collapsing and inflation in the US is through the roof. And there's a lot of confusion in the US right now. One minute, you have Janet Yellen saying they are not considering blanket insurance for all US bank deposits. But the next minute, you have Jerome Powell stating that depositors should assume that their deposits are safe. And you're probably watching thinking, so what if the US is replaced as a world power? There's more to the world than the US, and I agree. For me personally, I'm a US citizen. I would prefer for the US to continue being the world power, but what if China or Russia takes over? They're not super friendly. Well, when we look at China, I, along with many people, believe it's a very corrupt country. They have a social credit system that takes basic rights away from their citizens. They even have detention centers for Uyghurs in the country. And then we have Russia, and they're not the nicest country either. And I'm actually curious to know your guys' take on this. I have viewers from the UK, India, Canada, Australia, Germany, Nigeria, even Russia. I want to know from you guys how you feel about this topic, whether you have the US, Russia, or China. Of these three world powers, which one would you prefer to be the world power with the world's reserve currency? And this problem of inflation in the US, it's not unique or special to the US. We see inflation across the world. Now, there's not really a problem with controlled inflation. There's a problem with uncontrolled inflation. And when you have human beings at the money printer, eventually they will print more than is needed. So whether it's the US or Russia or China or another country that is the world power with the world reserve currency, eventually they will print. So for me, between the US, Russia, and China, which of these three am I taking a bet on? My answer, none of them. My bet is on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is money that no one controls. Bitcoin is money with a predictable supply. Bitcoin is money that cannot be manipulated or created out of thin air. And crypto has reacted very well to these events over the last few weeks, with Bitcoin currently sitting at $27,974. And from here, maybe it goes lower, maybe it goes higher, but it doesn't really matter because for me, it's a long-term game. Now, even if you have Bitcoin or crypto, you have to secure it the right way. Balaji, who is famous for his $1 million Bitcoin bet in 90 days, which I believe is a viral marketing stunt, that's actually working. He stated governments will eventually try to seize Bitcoin. So buy Bitcoin and get your coins off exchanges, meaning onto a self-custody wallet. Of course, hardware wallets being the best. There's Trezor, there's Ledger. I use Ledger. And if you need help choosing the best ledger for you, go ahead and watch this video right here.